Hey everybody, I'm Rich. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, thanks for clicking and I hope you enjoy what you see. So today we're in my secondary bathroom and we are addressing a concern with the bathroom fan switch. So my switch is currently set up on just a regular flip switch, and inevitably someone will forget to turn it on when they're taking a shower, and that creates a whole lot of moisture and humidity in the bathroom. The other thing is when you do turn the fan on and you want to leave it on for at least 20 minutes but after you've taken a shower or you've used the bathroom, you have to come back to turn it off. And so I want to address those concerns. So I think I found a solution to my problem. Went to the hardware store and was able to find a fan switch by DewStop that has a moisture sensor built into it so that it will sense when there's too much humidity in the bathroom, and it will automatically kick on the fan to begin to extract that moisture from the air. So I want to go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and turn the power off into the bathroom so that we can start opening up the switch panel and remove the old switch and install this new switch. So we've got the switch out, and it comes with a set of instructions and a bag of hardware, and included in the bag is a little tool that allows you to remove the little cover plate. It allows you to access the control switch here. So there's a couple of settings that are here. This allows you to adjust the sensitivity of the condensation in the room. You can increase the sensitivity or decrease the sensitivity, and then you also have a timer for how long you want the fan to stay on once it senses that moisture. The model number that we have is HS-C00. It's a very simple installation with some basic knowledge of electrical skills. So essentially, you've got black is your line, this is the load, this is your neutral, white is always neutral, well, not always neutral, but white is typically your neutral, and this is green is your ground. So we're just going to be installing these in place of the current switch. So let's go ahead and get started by pulling the other switch off. Okay, so the first step is obviously we got to turn the power off, and it's off now, but we're just going to remove these screws so that we can access the switch. Okay, this is my light and this is the fan switch. So we're basically going to be removing this and using the wires that are currently connected to connect the new switch. Okay, we disconnect the ground. Okay, so your top one typically is the one that's going up to the fan switch. So we want to just kind of disconnect this. Okay, we'll put that up high so we know that that's the fan. And then this is going to be your line side where we're getting power from. because the new switch has its own set of wires that I have to connect to, this is not going to work because it's been stripped. So I need to essentially kind of clean some of this wiring up. I can snip it right here and then just tie it all together into the junction box, and then also add this wire to it to kind of tie everything together. So we basically just need to disconnect these. So the best thing to do is just kind of disconnect this. And we can snip this off because I don't necessarily need all that. So I stripped this black wire a little more so that I can wrap around so that it has good contact with these other connections. And you want to twist it good and tight so that it gets good contact and it doesn't pull out. You want to tug on it so that, give it a little tug test to make sure that it's got good connection and that it's not going to pull out of there. That's tight. That's not pulling out. Now we can go ahead and do the neutral. Since this is sticking out. So to make sure that we get good connection between these stranded wires versus the solid core wires, is typically you end up having to cut a little bit longer normally than you would do with a solid core wire, because this stuff needs to wrap around it quite a bit to get a good connection. So I'm just going to make it a little longer than I normally would, and then we can wrap it around this connection point, and hopefully it gets a good contact with the wire nut. So now I'm going to cut this one off a little bit longer as well, so that it gets good contact. And this goes to the load side, which is the fan. So now we can twist this around. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and give this a twist. Now the last one we have is the ground wire. Now this ground wire, the way they've got it set up, they just have it twisted. To that crimp, and we can probably just go to that one as well. We can just loosen this up so we can pinch it. Okay. So we're just going to cut a good chunk of this out of here and pull it out. so that we've got plenty of wire to grab. I'll twist this. Okay, so now we've got it in there. We can kind of squeeze it up in there, and then we pinch it off again. And now we just need to, now that we've got all the connections made, we can go ahead and tuck this back into place out of the way. Now we can screw this in. There we go. Okay. We don't have to do it super tight, just enough to give us some adjustment, and that way it'll fit it when we put the cover plate on. Now we can go ahead and turn the power back on and see what we've got. So I was able to turn the power back on, and I want to go ahead and make some adjustments to it, and well, just test out the moisture sensor to confirm that that's working. But part of the features of this switch is that you have a push button on and off, so you can turn it on and off manually if you'd like to. So if you just press this, that'll turn it on. And then if you press it again, it'll turn it off. And you can manually do that. But if you turn it on manually, it will automatically turn off after 30 minutes because that's what it's set on right now. So I don't really want it on for 30 minutes at a time. I think 15 minutes ought to be sufficient. So we're going to go ahead and put it to 15 minutes. So the sensitivity level, I want to turn it, have it a little more sensitive than the standard setting. That's kind of a medium setting. I'd like to turn it up a little bit. So because the switch is it's somewhat further away from the shower stall, and it's not up high in the ceiling where moisture's gonna, the steam's gonna rise. So I want to make sure that it's fairly sensitive to turn on as needed. So to test the sensor to make sure that it's working properly, you can use your breath on the sensor to test it to make sure that it turns on. So let's go ahead and give it a puff of air. So there it is, and the blue light pulsing says that that's the condensation sensor sensing the condensation in the air. So once the level goes down, this fan will turn off. So I think this installation is complete. I like this idea of having a timered switch, and also the sensitivity of the condensation sensor that's already built into it. I think this is a really good solution for problems of knowing when to turn the fan on or leaving it on and never turning it off. It automatically shuts off on its own. So if you like this, I'll put a description and a link to the product in the description section below. Hopefully this is useful to you. If you liked it, hit the like or subscribe button so that this video can get pushed out to other folks that might find it useful. All right, folks, I think this is going to do it for this video. I will talk to you on the next one.